Okay, we're going to work through the last couple of sections that we've done. I do apologize for not having much of a voice, so hopefully you can understand me. On section 1.2, that was the word problems. So we had several different kinds. If you go back, we're going to do the number ones. Those are the ones that dealt with averages. So, and then we had the geometric problems. Investment were the ones that were mainly dealing with I equals PRT. And uniform motion, that was the D equals RT with the chart, and shared work. So let's just kind of go through and get an analysis of all of them. We'll get as many of them as we can in. I stop the videos at 14 minutes, so it may take me a couple. Okay, so if a student has a score of 74, 78, and 70 on 3 music theory exams, what score is needed on the 4th for the student to earn an average grade of 80? Well, the basis of an average means that you add all of them up and divide by the number that you've got. So if he takes another test, obviously it says here on the 4th test. So he's going to do a 4th one, but we don't know what it is. So we've got 74 plus 78 plus 70 plus x. Well, now that there's 4 tests, we're going to divide by 4. Well, we're wanting the average to come out to be 80. So that's our whole goal here. Now, at this point, you're just solving for x. So we need to find the sum of the current test. 74 plus 78 plus 70 excuse me, is 222 plus x divided by 4 equals 80. Now at this point, I'm hoping that you realize that that is a proportion because you have a fraction on the left, and you can make 80 a fraction. So anytime you have a proportion, you are more than welcome to cross multiply. The other option would be to multiply through by the common denominator, and it's going to have the same effect. If you cross multiply, you're going to have 222 plus x, because when you multiply times 1, it's the same thing. And then we're going to have 4 times 80, which would be 320. So we're going to subtract out the 222, and that, I do believe, gives us a 98. So the student needs to score 98 on his next test to get the average he wants. Now, I did show y'all a quick way to do these. This is just something that you can use in ACT. You're wanting to come out as an 80. Well, you need to see where you're located so far. What have your prior tests done to your average? Where have they located you? So basically, you go through and you look at, okay, 74, that is 6 below what you want. 78 is 2 below what you want. 70 is 10 below what you want. So currently speaking, you are a total of 18 below your desired goal. So you need to, and what we're doing is we're really looking at this total number that's over here, right here. So the total number you're wanting is 18 too far below. We've got to get above that way. So whatever this number comes out to be, you want to do the opposite of it. So we really want to do 80 plus 18, and that gives the 98. So that's a kind of a quick way. It's obviously not structured very well algebraically, but it uses the concepts of average. I'm going to skip the duplicate problems and just work the main ones. On this one, you got the ordinance requires a man to install a fence around the swimming pool shown below. So the pool is yellow and the fence is white. He wants the border around the pool to be of uniform width. So that's what this little space is indicative of. And if you'll notice, they're all labeled as X. If he has 154 feet of fencing, find the width of the border. Well, this is all about the fence. So we're talking only about the fence. When you look at your diagram, the fence is really not labeled. So you have to take the information that's given and you have to derive the label for the fence. So you've got to notice that, okay, the yellow piece from here to here, that's 20. Well, then this little part over here is X, and this little part over here is X. So if I add them all up, that's going to give me 2X plus 20. And that defines from this end to this end. So I got one side of the fence. All right, so go the opposite way. So this part right here is 16, with this being x and this being x. And again, we're adding everything, so that is 2x plus 16. Well, we're talking about perimeter. Perimeter means add up all your sides. So it helps sometimes just to visualize. Go ahead and put those labels on the other sides just so that we can see it. So now you can actually look at it and say, okay, let me go around this, and I'm going to add them all up. 2x, 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 2x. Well, that gives me a total of 8x. So then, if I were you, you've got to do all these numbers, but doing the same ones are easier. 20 and 20 gives me 40. 16 and 16 gives me 32. So I need 40 plus 32 is 72. And the problem stated that was a total of 154. So now I need to solve. So if I subtract 154 minus 72, excuse me, I get 82. All right, if I divide that out, let's see here, divide by 8. Okay, I got 10.25, and that is feet. Okay, so you got 10 and a quarter. And that's basically all you have to do. You just have to think of the structure, work with what you're given to get what you need, and work with what they're requesting. So you have to keep your mind focused on what is it that you're after, and you have to find some way to go between what you're given to what they want. So you've got to make a plan of action in here. So it might be like a problem you've seen in the past, and it might not. But you have to think of everything that is mathematically accurate that can take the given information and move you to the answer to that question. And you may have to take a step in the middle. You may have to find something in the middle and then go again. In physics, you have to do that lots of times. Okay, investment problems. This is based on the formula interest equals principal times rate times time. So that is the way those are set up. So I is interest. P is principal. How much did you invest? Okay, and R is the rate, and we're going to change that to a decimal. And T is time, and that will be in years. Okay, so, and that's a decimal. Okay, so the thing here is it's not straightforward. It's upgraded, as it should be for college algebra. This woman has $10,000, and she's putting part of it at 9% and the rest of it at 14%. So we have two rates, which means we're going to have interest equals PRT. So there's one bank, and here's the other account or bank. So we're going to have to use one for 9% and one for 14%. That's a given. All right, now it does say that her annual income, so this implies we have 1 year, which means the T's are really ineffectual. We're not going to put anything in for T because it would be a 1, and it has no effect. Okay, it does say the annual income from these investments is $1,275. That would be your interest. So what we need to do is we need to label the principal, and this is what threw people for a loop. You've got to make a choice. We've got 9%, we've got 14%. One of them needs to be X. It makes no difference which one you allow to be X. None whatsoever. So if you say, okay, 9% is going to be my X term. Then the way this works, because you don't know how it's broken down, you're not given any relationship whatsoever. The only thing you're told is there's a total of 10,000. You have to do the total minus X. Because if you would add these two things together, X plus 10,000 minus X, the X's cancel and you have the total. That's just how it's done. There's no other way to label it. So if that kind of hurts your brain, you're just going to have to remember it's total minus X for the second. So when you go into your problem, we are going to put the rate down first, even though P is listed first. We're going to do the rate just so it looks traditional and normal. So we're going to do 9% as 0.09. And we said that we were going to label him as X. So his P is x. And remember, t was 1, so it's ineffectual. We're leaving the t off. Okay, so on the second one, we have 14%, so that's 0.14. Now the p for it happens to be this algebraic expression right here, 10,000 minus x. And again, the t is a 1, so it doesn't have any effect. So this is our equation. We just need to solve it. Don't let the fact that you have decimals in your equation rock your world. It's an equation. That's all it is. So I've got 1275.09x, and then I'm going to distribute the 0.14. So if I do 0.14 times 10,000, I'm going to lose 2 of these zeros. So I got 14 with just 2 of them rather than 4. And then I'm going to do 0.14x, and it's negative. All right, so just like any other equation, I'm going to get my like terms together. So whenever I put, let's see here, this term and this term together, that would be a negative 0.5x. And I'm just going to move this at the same time because y'all are big girls and boys, y'all should be able to follow this. If I subtract that out, I'm going to have 1,400 minus 1275 is a negative 125. So at this point, your grand finale on the equation part is to divide by the coefficient of x. So I need to divide 125 because the negatives cancel. 125 divided by 0.05. How many nickels are in $125? That would be 2,500. So you found one of them. The question stated how many were in each. So we need to go back to our little labeling down here. You found x, which we said was 9,000. So that one has $2,500 in it. To figure out what goes in 14, you're putting the x in here. So some of you were lost with where this number came from. Substitute your 2,500 into the place of x, and then just work this out. So that's just 10,000 minus 2,500x is 7,500. Because remember, these two things have to add up to 10,000. That was what was stipulated in the problem. That's basically all there is. When you're on homework, and if you run into a problem that says you have 3 accounts and they are equally, the money's equally distributed. What that means is you're going to do I equals, the PRT plus PRT plus PRT. But the thing is, since they're equally distributed with 3, because you can't do 1x and total minus x if there's 3 of them, that means your principal is going to be x for every one of them because it's equal. So you're just going to have whatever your rate is times x, whatever your second rate is times x, and whatever your third rate is times x, and that gives you your interest. And don't be shocked if they give you some other information and ask, hey, what is the interest? They can ask you different questions. You're going to have to think. Okay, so we're going to stop here, and then we're going to start the next video with the uniform motion problems. Okay? Not 1 minute.